Hey folks, how you guys doing? Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend and a very productive start to this week. I've had a very productive past couple weeks and I'm trying to keep the ball rolling. This it was Saturday, 4th of July. Saturday and Sunday I finished up the next project, which was that stack of 2x10s that I had sitting on the polk table when I shot my shop tour video. And that was a bookshelf build. I made two 7-foot tall, 9.5 inches deep, full 2x10 width bookcases. They were like 28 inches wide, and the joinery for them I used stopped dados, cut the grooves with the router, and that was a huge pain in the butt. But the bookshelves are done. They are extremely strong and beefy and all that good stuff. So I'm not sure when I'll edit that video. There's multiple stages with like this whole online content thing, and sometimes you get burnt out on certain parts of it. And right now I'm kind of burnt out on video editing, so I'm just kind of like pushing it off. Oh, I'll get to it. I'll probably have that later this week, I guess. But this afternoon I'm going to go get more 2x10s and start letting them store here in the shop for a couple days before I start working with them, because the next project after the one that will be released this weekend or this week sometime will be a tall chest of drawers, about 52 inches or so in height, about 36 wide, and I think 16 or 18 deep. Either 5 drawers, yeah, it'll be 5 drawers, something like that. Anyway, it's a chest of drawers, big beefy design to match the bunk bed, because all this stuff I'm making is for the bunk bed room. We've got the bunk bed done, which is 2x6, 2x4s, dimensional lumber. Looks really good. The bookcases are done. If you guys saw my Instagram feed, you've already seen the pictures of them. So the bookcases are done. Big, beefy, dimensional lumber look. That's the whole theme of this project, or this whole room rather. So the chest of drawers is going to be big, beefy, dimensional lumber look. So that's going to look pretty cool. I've already got a design in SketchUp for it. And I'm going to be putting that one together with Dominos. I got the Festool Domino, which, you know, it's one of those things. If you don't have the Domino, you can still make it with dowels or any other type of floating tenon or tenons or whatever. So I got one of those, and it's kind of tricky to deal with because I'm not used to metric. And it's just, you know, metric, everyone says metric's easier to work with, but it's all relevant to what you're used to. I'm sure metric would be just super easy for me to work with because, or if I grew up with it, but I didn't. I grew up with the imperial system, so I can visually say a foot is about this wide. I have no clue what 35 centimeters looks like. I don't know. So anyway, it's a little bit of a adjustment phase of getting used to the metric system again. I got used to the metric system back when I was in college. In all my drafting classes, we used metric, and then also engineering scales, which is based in tens, you know. So I don't know where I was going with that. I just went blank. Next topic. Plans for the bookcases. Now the bookcases that I just made, like I said, they're stop dados, dimensional lumber. It's super simple to do. And I find that most of my super simple stuff, I still get requests for plans for them. So I think it's more of a convenience thing. People like the convenience of having a complete plan ready to go as opposed to, you know, pulling bits and pieces from a website article. So I think what I'm going to do is start getting back in the habit of trying to make plans for everything. Whether they're paid or free, I don't know. That all depends on how much effort I want to put into them, because all of my paid plans are way more in depth than any one of my free plans. But anyway, I may or may not make plans for it. You know what? I probably will. It'd be cool to have like plans for the entire dimensional lumber room assortment of furniture. That'd be pretty cool. So it's been a few weeks now since I mentioned that I was going to make a video on my spraying process, my HVLP cheap Harbor Freight gun spraying finish process. And I did record it, but I screwed up in it so many times that I can't even piece it together to make a decent video. It just looks, I'm just not happy with it at all. So that's the very first time that I've recorded something and ditched the footage. Still have it on the computer, but I'm not going to use it, I don't think, at all. So disregard that. If you're looking forward to it, I apologize. I may revisit the idea in a month or two. I don't know. I just wasn't happy with it at all. And I may not get another opportunity to do it for a little while because lately I've been doing a lot of wax finishes. Well, I say a lot. It's just the past 2 projects for the house, the bunk bed and then the bookcases. I really like the way that a wax finish, you can interact with it. I like the way that it feels when you touch the piece. And as far as durability goes, no, it's not a great option for like a dining table where you're going to set cups on it constantly. But other than that, it will allow pieces to wear visually quicker, I think, than a protective film finish like a lacquer or a polyurethane. And I really got the idea, not necessarily the idea, but the approval, the go-ahead that is okay to use that on house furniture when my wife purchased a whole bedroom suit. This is before I got back into woodworking, like 3-4 years ago, before I got my last shop. She purchased the whole bedroom suit, and it's all waxed pine. That's the entire bedroom suit. And I really like the way it's holding up. I really like the way that, like I said, you can interact with it, the way it feels when you touch it. So if it's working there for commercially manufactured furniture, then there's no reason why I can't try it on my own. And I did try it, and I really like the results. So if I keep using the wax finish, then that may delay the process of making another attempt at my HVLP spray setup video. But really, I'm just using a Harbor Freight gun, there's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to set one of those up. And if you can use a spray paint can, you can use a Harbor Freight HVLP gun. You just got to make sure you have a decent compressor to keep up with it. So there's really not much to it. I don't know if there's really a need for me to make a video anyway, but I may revisit it at a later date. I've been playing around with the Domino a little bit off camera, just making some small stuff that I don't really want to make a video on. Maybe I'll make a video, I don't know. But making these trays for my miter saw station drawers that can slide left and right, still allow access to the stuff below that is less commonly used stuff, like my hand saws. I do have hand saws, barely ever use them. I think you might have seen them in a couple videos. But so I got some hand saws I barely use, and this is all my most commonly used drawer. This is my cutting stuff. So hand saws, planes, files, chisels, hand knives, stuff like that. And I made a couple of these small sliding trays that can be removed if needed. And I made them with through mortise and tenons, with the Domino. And it's a pretty easy process and pretty cool. I don't know if it'd be interesting enough to make a video on it. I may end up making a video anyway, just for the rest of the drawers. I only made them for this drawer so far, but because all the drawers are sized the same, these 2 particular trays can fit in the rest of them. Just need to put some runners on the front and back, which the runners that these slide across are just a strip of 3/4 inch plywood. So you guys can see it right there. This is a Detroit Tigers pennant. Detroit Tigers are finally represented on the wall, which is very, very cool. This is a gift from Peter Stewart, which a very awesome message he also sent. Something that I mentioned in my shop tour video I just made. Anyway, I'm also, he mentioned he's getting a dust collector and modifying it and all that stuff. Also about to buy Grizzly G0555 anniversary bandsaw, same bandsaw I have. I have been working since Christmas for my neighbor trying to earn money. I'm 15 years old and I only have $75 left to go. That is really awesome. I don't know what I was doing at 15 years old, but it sure wasn't sweating my butt off earning tools for my woodworking. So that's very awesome, inspirational, and I wish you the best of luck with it. Bunch of stuff in the mail, so let's get to it. We got a couple anonymous stickers. Well, sticker from an anonymous person, a Matthews sticker, and a Mission sticker. Thank you very much for both of those. And a WP sticker, 2 of them, from Brian from the Wildman Project on YouTube. Thank you very much. I'll post a link to his channel. Size Corner here on YouTube. Thank you very much for the sticker, Sai. I'll post the link to her channel as well. Future Scroll Saw artist Dan sent a picture, or not a picture, a sticker. Very much appreciate it. Post a link to his YouTube channel as well. And another YouTube channel, this time from Carol Kolonowski, KK Make. I'll post a link to the channel from there as well. And another YouTube channel, Mike. I can't pronounce your last name, dude. I've got a featured, I've got his shop tour on my website as well if you want to check out his shop. Very awesome, organized, awesome shop. So be sure to check that out. Thank you very much for the sticker. I'll post a link to his channel as well. And then these flag stickers I've had for way too long. I've had these for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I forgot to put them in. I very much apologize for that. This is from Derek, and thank you very much for the sticker. I very much appreciate it. And a mirror. That's my logo. Pretty cool. I don't know if that's etched in there. Feels like that's etched in there. It's pretty awesome. And some seeds, dollar seeds, and some round tuits. These are for my wife. And it says, "Don't wait for him to get around to it. Give him yours." Get it? A round to it. Get it? Get it? Huh? These are pretty cool. And my wife says thank you for those. I very much appreciate that. And very much appreciate all these stickers. So let's get them all put up on the cabinet.